Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Two Man Advantage podcast. I'm your co-host, Darrin, Carlo, along with Mr. Kevin McShan. Kevin, how are you, sir?
I'm good and ready to talk sports on this gloomy Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, it is kind of gloomy here in beautiful Windsor. Let's talk about the season. Now the season is here. It's summer's becoming fall, and that means college football is back.
It does certainly mean that, and we've got a big, huge, program-defining game for the Michigan State Spartans this upcoming weekend.
Absolutely. The Spartans welcome the Oregon Ducks to East Lansing this weekend. It should be exciting. You know, it's always good to see, two top 10 teams go at it so early on in the season. Michigan State being 5 and is ranked 5th, and Oregon is ranked 7th. So it should be a good test for the Spartans.
It's the first top 10 matchup of the season, and certainly if Michigan State wants to get to the places where they want to go, they're going to have to prove their worth in this game in particular, for sure.
Absolutely. So what would be the keys for Michigan State to walk away with a W against Oregon?
Play better on defense and coverage.
Yeah.
They sort of let Western Michigan run wild there in the second half of that game. I think Connor Cook is a big factor in this game. Obviously, the quarterback will touch the ball on every snap in the game. So better offensive play in terms of consistency. I mean, they scored 37 points. But defensively, I think their warts were exposed a little bit against Western.
Absolutely. I think I think once you have a team that's kind of like the game is well in hand, that will allow you to play other players, see what other depth you have behind those starting positions, and really try things that you would not normally try in a game. But against the Oregon Ducks, it is a real test. It's under the lights at 8:00 on Saturday night. And also, their brothers from down the road in Ann Arbor have a game against another team in Oregon State.
Oregon State, you mean the new little brothers?
No, I'm not calling anyone anything.
Certainly, the hype train of Jim Harbaugh is firmly in Ann Arbor now, and now he can roll up his sleeves and get to work. I mean, if you watch the game against Utah, they only lost by 7 points, but their offense left a lot to be desired. I thought they left a lot out there. Certainly, the 2 missed touchdown passes in the first half would have changed the entire complexion of that game. I also thought the defense, for the most part, despite the offensive shortcomings, played well. And I think they've got to protect the football. And I do think they'll get their first win at home against Oregon State on Saturday.
Yes, it's. I'm sure that place will be rocking, seeing the prodigal son return to Ann Arbor, and
the chosen one.
The chosen one, whatever you want to call them. So it should be an exciting week of football, not only in college, but the NFL season kicks off Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Yes, very excited. If you're a fantasy football owner, player, you've been pining for this day all year long. I know I have. I just had my draft on Monday, and I'm psyched. I'm ready to go.
Fantasy football is $1 billion industry for a reason.
It makes every game exciting, no matter what your team is. It's always, ooh, I got this player playing this guy at this date. And anyways,
speaking of the NFL, when we look at some of the headlines that have been making the rounds around the league, I mean, you have the Tom Brady situation, which will get plenty of headlines during the broadcast tomorrow, and whether Roger Goodell should be the judge, jury, and executioner on all discipline matters. It certainly will get a lot of play, something we've had to listen to for the past 7 months. And I'm glad for the most part this stage in the NFL calendar is over and we can start talking about football.
Yes, exactly. Enough with the legal procedures and the Spygate and the Deflategate, whatever you want to call it. It's all in the past now that we get down to business, and helmets and pads and Sundays are fun days again.
Do you think the NFL? Well, obviously the NFL has egg on their face, but how do you think they can recover from this situation?
There's a lot of issues where they can really improve upon, but it really, attitude in the NFL reflects leadership. And I really don't think Roger Goodell is doing a job at protecting the shield, as he calls it. And I know for him that for the amount of money that he's making, $10 million a year. Yeah. So you think that he would be a little bit better at, controlling these players that, work for him in this league. But it's I think it all starts at the top. But if it was me personally, I would look for a replacement for Roger Goodell.
And back on the field, obviously Tim Tebow was cut by the
Tebow mania
Philadelphia Eagles during the final cut.
It's kind of a shame because the Lions play the Eagles this year on Thanksgiving
Day, absolutely.
So I was kind of looking to see Tebow time at Ford Field, but I guess that's not going to happen.
Do you think his NFL career is over? I mean, this is 4 teams now.
I know.
Shown in the door.
You know what? I really think that this was his last kick at the can, and he had a shot, and obviously he couldn't even outwork the third guy, or maybe him and Chip Kelly's system just did not mesh.
Well, I mean, if you can't take it in with the Eagles, who were on that gimmicky kind of offense, then I know that there have been some rumblings about him possibly going to the Canadian Football League. But one thing you have to know about that is they only play 3 downs in Canadian football, and they pass the ball a heck of a lot more than
well, because it is a longer field. So that's I guess that'd be the best way to approach things. But I don't really see him going to the CFL. I see him go back to the media booth and the commentator's booth, and
that's a cushy job when you get
you wear a nice suit, you get in front of the cameras and you talk about football. You don't have to worry about getting hurt or having injuries after your interview.
Okay, now transitioning to the team on the top of your head, Norm.
Who? Oh, these guys. Oh,
obviously, there's not much left.
Are they still playing?
Left to play for the Tigers.
Oh wow, I didn't even know they're still playing.
Passing the can down the road. But when you look at the Tigers, obviously it's about all next year and whether Brad Ausmus will be back. I personally don't think he deserves to be back because he hasn't shown anything in the last 2 years to demonstrate that the team is headed in the right direction. Now, in his defense, the bullpen that they've been rushing out there is all that great.
It's a crap fire, Kevin. It's a crap fire.
They haven't performed consistently enough on offense. Certainly, they've had a lot of injuries. Cabrera bring out for the rest of the season. But my question to you is, what do the Tigers have to focus on going into the all-season to get back in contention next year?
How long do we have on this podcast? This might take a while. Oh my God, it's long. You can start at the top with the manager and his coaches. Period. If you want to do a straight up fire sale, do it. Except for Miguel Cabrera, Sanchez and Lander. Those are probably untouchable players. But it really is. They need to go out there and get a premier number starter. Jordan Zimmerman. He would be nice, but it would be very expensive. Jordan Zimmerman, or maybe Justin Marta, someone that can take that ball on the day and just be, there for Verlander, which looks like he's getting back to his, regular JV self.
Well, that's good because they don't have a lot of financial flexibility.
Yeah, it's all tied up in him. Yeah,
the contracts that they've signed, particularly him and Cabrera, and obviously they've got to get more out of Victor Martinez, who's sort of fallen off the face of the earth the second half of the season. And based on the numbers in his paycheck, they've got to get more out of him. And certainly whoever manages this team and what Alavilla does in the bullpen, and as you said, the second starter will be major headlines for the upcoming season.
Exactly. Alavila has a lot to do in the offseason, and I hope he was taking notes when he was Dave Dombrowski's number two guy when it comes to getting the players that he wants and the players that he needs. But he really needs to make a decision on Brad Ausmus if this is worth it. Or I understand he's going into his last year of his 3-year deal, but seeing them at the bottom of the barrel in the AL Central, it's tough to watch. And I know that they strung together some nice wins. I know Rajay had the walk-off sac fly last night, and they had a win here, a win there, but the consistency just lacks just tremendously when it comes to the Tigers this season, and it was just tough to watch. It's tough to watch this team and the way that they play, and to see how they get shellacked every other game. It seems like they had no pitching, they had no bullpen. It was just an all around bad season.
Well, they had no consistency.
That's what I just said. Yeah,
they would win 2 and then they
exactly.
would lose. And so I think when you look at the overall picture of the Tigers, I think the decision on Ausmus is already made, because if you
would think, but it's the Tigers, you never know.
Well, and it also depends on how much money Mike Gillis is willing to spend on this team.
He's got a new hockey arena he has to pay for. I think he's gonna be a little bit tight with the wallet this year.
Well, yeah, but he's already won multiple Stanley Cups, and we both know how desperate he is to win a World Series. But there also, I know there's no salary cap in baseball, but there has to be some sort of a budget that he is willing to cap off at, because it is his money. So it'll be interesting to see how they maneuver the big money contracts they already have, and how they supplement this team moving forward.
Absolutely. So I think that'll do it for the Two Man Advantage podcast. It's a short, condensed version, but we just did an interview with Rant Sports Lions beat writer Jamal
Kudra.
Kadora. That's it. Jamal Kadora. That's on our YouTube channel. It'll be on Facebook. Kevin will post it everywhere like he always does. If you're a Lions fan, it's a great listen or watch
preview for the
upcoming season as they kick off their schedule in San Diego on Sunday. So so check that out. It'll be up there. And anything else, Kevin?
No, I would just say that keys to Sunday's game are starting fast on offense for the Lions. I'll be interested to see what the Lions look like on defense with Nada in the middle, and whether or not the improved offensive line or the younger offensive line will improve the running game as well.
That's right. So that's it for the Two Man Advantage podcast. For Kevin McShan, I'm Darrin and Carlo. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.